I am Kangaroo Jack, and it's time to say hello. I was the entire selling point of a movie, and I'm only in it for 5 minutes.
The only thing I remember about that movie is the kangaroo's got the money, and now he's hopping away from the trailer.
I never saw the movie. All I know is apparently the kangaroo's in it for like 5 minutes.
The only reason I even remember it exists is because my mom loves the movie Mouse Hunt. And for whatever reason, the DVD that you could get for Mouse Hunt, the only one was a combo pack with Kangaroo Jack.
Oh man, that's amazing.
Which Mouse Hunt is a much better movie, by the way.
I remember.
Anybody was wondering.
I remember liking Mouse Hunt.
Oh, there's no place like home for the holidays. And no matter how far away you roam, if you pine for the sunshine of a friendly gaze, for the holidays you can.
Welcome back to Horror for the Holidays, a Christmas horror movie podcast. I'm Jay Logsden.
And I'm Jeff Searcy.
And happy April, Jeff.
Yes.
With snow falling.
Yes, of course. The nice random flurries that fall out of the sky.
Oh man, we had the weather in Iowa.
It was almost like 90 degrees last week for like 3 days.
For multiple days.
Now it's snowing.
Yeah, we had rain and cold temperatures yesterday, and then it started snowing today. Oh man.
Hell, as long as it doesn't stick around.
But yeah, just thought that was kind of funny that we woke up to snow on the ground. Well, I guess not on the ground, in the air. It's not gonna amount to anything. But yeah, let's. Do you want to get into it? I guess.
No, not really.
Yeah, me neither.
Let's just keep talking about the weather.
I don't know. What do you think of that Black Christmas Krampus poster I just put up?
A pretty nice poster.
Yeah, I thought it's pretty cool.
It.
Oh man, we're someday we'll get this. We'll get our studio fully decorated, and we'll do pictures and stuff like that.
Pictures from the set.
As we're busy with as I'm busy here getting other things moved around, so it'll take a little while, but I'll post a picture of it online with this episode so people can see it. I just thought it was really neat, so I had to get it.
It is cool.
All right, well. Enough talk. Let's get into the bullshit of this movie.
All right, I guess.
Let's deck the halls. We'll set the scene. We watched 1996's Santa Claus, CLAWS.
But I wish we didn't. I wish we'd watch 2014's Santa Claus about Christmas cats.
I mean, one thing I will say, Jeff, is we've gone multiple episodes without any nudity, and we got our fair share of nudity in this movie.
We got all of the nudity we needed.
Estimated $40,000 budget.
Oh, that's being generous.
In 1996 dollars.
I would have said, $5 a piece.
Probably the most famous person, writer-director John Russo, is the other guy. Not the guy not named George Romero
that did Night of the Living Dead.
That did Night of the Living Dead. He owns, I think, the rights to the Living Dead movies, so like Return of the Living Dead and stuff like that.
So basically, he's fallen a long way into making Santa Claus.
Right. So certainly one of those things is a franchise, and the other one is a one-off movie that it has no sequels.
That barely even made it to feature length, by the way. I mean, not even really. I think it's about 80 minutes.
Our star, Debbie Rochon, I assume.
Sure.
Plays Raven Quinn, and according to IMDb, her character is based off of Brinky Stevens. The reason I guess that is notable is that both of them will be appearing in The Vampire Santa 1, The Beginning, coming out later this year.
Well, I will say, out of all the people in this movie, I think she probably did the best job.
I agree. Certainly, I feel like not as many of her lines had to be 80 yard over.
Oh, God. Yeah, we'll get to that.
Also, Brinky Stevens, the character, the person that Raven Quinn is supposedly based on, is We will see her again in not Santa Claus. Geez, that's this movie. In Mrs. Claus,
Oh boy.
aka Stirring.
Oh
So
boy.
that'll be, so that's kind of a small connection, but otherwise, none of these people are involved in any other Christmas horror movies that I could find.
Thank God.
And some of these people aren't in any other
I
movies
was gonna
besides this
say,
movie.
Honestly, if I was looking up an actor's resume and I saw this, I'd be like, well, we're going on to the next one.
I got a Blu-ray copy of this movie from Terror Vision, a part of their, I think, like their new like DVD line that they're doing. I think they only used to do like cassette tapes of movie soundtracks. Yeah. But I think just last year they started branching out into DVDs. So I had to pick this up. It was one that I had seen when Jeff and I were kind of talking about doing this podcast. Like we both kind of assembled large lists of Christmas horror movies. And this is one that like kept popping up over and over and over again. And couldn't find it anywhere. It wasn't streaming anywhere at the time. I couldn't find it, and so I was like, okay, like people must like this movie. It gets talked about all the fucking time, and we'll talk about it later. But like inversely, like it took me forever to find out about To All a Good Night, which is arguably a better movie than this movie.
You want to know something hilarious? While I was researching horror movies for our list way back before we started, I was looking at a list of top 10 killer Santas, and Wayne is on that list. And I don't know how, honestly, seeing this.
There must be, I mean, that list must be pretty barren if good old Wayne winds up on this list. But yeah, currently streaming on Tubi, I think we found. So if people do want to watch, there is a way to watch it without having to buy the DVD.
And yet another L for this movie, by the way. It came out in October, not even at Christmas time.
Oh man, I mean, you know, Scream. The new Scream it takes place at Halloween and came out in March.
But Scream is a good movie,
right? No, that's fair. I mean, man, just once again, reiterate, make the next Scream movie take place at Christmas time.
It's like not very many Christmas horror movies actually make it into a theatrical release. So it's like, if you're going to have one, put it in the movie theater around Christmas time.
Right, absolutely. Oh, yeah, well, let's get into our synopsis for this movie.
Oh, I guess if we have to.
We start off with a couple, like, kind of atmospheric Christmas shots of like Christmas tree, Christmas lights, like a Christmas ornament, and then we see a stocking that says Wayne, but there is a large space in between the Y and the N, so it looks like it says Wayne,
leading to our Wayne meme for the entire runtime of the movie.
We see this boy who, you know, we learn is Wayne asleep on the couch, and we got to get a voiceover of his mom and his Uncle Joe. And he's like, oh no, I gave him, I put some sleeping pills in his hot chocolate.
Yeah, I put a couple in there. Isn't that dangerous? Nah, I take him, it's fine.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Also, Uncle Joe punching way above his weight, by the way.
Right.
I've never seen a fatter, more average schlub with a hot woman before.
And Wayne, but you know, of course, you know, completely against what Uncle Joe's saying, Wayne wakes up.
It's through the powers of Christmas.
And walks up the stairs and watches his mom and Uncle Joe kiss each other very poorly.
And I mean, if you could have seen how hot this kiss was, I'm surprised that his Santa hat didn't fly up off his head.
They're I mean, it is the most like staged, unpassionate, like just like people just like lightly touching lips together.
You want to know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the episode of South Park where Butters is a pimp and he goes behind the trailer at school to kiss that girl and they just like briefly touch lips. That's what it reminded me of.
But Wayne walks in as I think his mom like takes her top off.
Oh,
so that's our first pair of boobs in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And his mom notices him, and Wayne like pulls out a gun and basically starts like threatening them. Uncle Joe tells him to put it down, and that, you know, they both loved their dad, and you know, his mom tries to tell him, oh no, we all deserve to be happy, Wayne, like Uncle Joe will make us happy. And he blows him away. And at first count, I'm pretty sure we thought he had fired more than 6 bullets into them.
It seemed like he did, but no, we rewound it. He only fired 6 shots.
Would have been really funny though if in that 6 shooter he had fired like 8 bullets.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be uncommon.
We then get a scene of Wayne being arrested and like two detectives talking to each other, and one of them basically says, "Oh, he'll get out, and he'll get out when he's 18, and then he'll get put back in prison after he's arrested again. But that's just the way the system is."
Hey, Detective J, you want to do an exposition dump here before we roll the credits?
Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of I truly think someone saw Christmas Evil, a movie we've not gotten to yet. But I think someone saw Christmas Evil and basically like took the idea and just took it in a different direction, because it's very similar. Like
Took it in a bad direction.
yeah, Christmas Evil's a really good movie. We then get our opening montage set to a song I've never heard before called "Christmas by Myself."
Oh, it was amazing.
I'm spending Christmas by myself.
Maybe I'll go and have a snowball fight in the park or something. I don't know.
It's so, but it's just like these kind of like different scenes of Raven Quinn, our star Debbie Rochada, walking around the city like in montage. I don't know, like buying like a coffee and like talking to like a bell ringing Santa and looking at Christmas decorations and stuff like that. She then, it kind of, as the song ends and the opening credits end, we get she goes into like Scream Productions, like
Yes.
there's a door with like a sign that says Scream Productions in it. And then we cut to the inside where we see a girl doing a nude photo shoot for Scream Queen magazine.
Scream Queen Christmas.
While Bruce Brunswick tells a newscaster about the new movie Scream Queen Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
And he introduces the newscaster and I guess us
Yeah.
to Raven Quinn, who is also a zoologist.
But don't just think she's a dumb bimbo. She's also a zoologist, which I guess might come in handy sometime.
Right. I mean, I don't think it ever does, but just to show, oh no, yeah, she's not just dumb. She has some brains on her too. And then we cut back to more of the girl in the background taking her clothes off, and then we cut to a grown Wayne.
I understand why she's a zoologist now. She specializes in handling beaver.
Taking a sex doll out of a box. It's actually a bust, but it looks like a sex doll.
Basically, if this movie had been made today, he would be unpacking a real doll, but those didn't exist yet.
And he talks to it as though it's actually Raven. I think he starts like making out with it at one point.
Oh no, he tells imaginary Raven Bust how much he would love to babysit her kids and some other stuff.
He then like starts like dancing with it.
Yeah.
And making out with it. We then see his Helga Pataki-esque shrine
Yes. Oh my
dedicated to Raven.
Yes, the
and
shrine.
he starts like imagining that like Raven's in the room talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells us about like all the things he has, like, oh, I have all these pictures, and I even bought some of the props from the last movie you were in, the Hooded Claw.
Yes. Oh my god.
Which looks, so it's a hand rake.
As I say, it's a garden rake, basically.
and like a guy wearing like a balaclava or something.
Yep.
Then at Scream magazine, Scream Productions or whatever, Raven tells another girl, I think it's a girl that's about ready to do a photo shoot, basically that her husband Eric is filing for divorce.
Yeah.
And that the girls don't know, and just more of another expedition dump.
Expedition dump. But yeah, basically she's like, oh, I have so many marital problems.
Yeah. So then Raven goes and picks up her daughters from
the-
Eric's mother and sister's house.
You mean from the two biggest bitches in the world?
Oh my god, they are such assholes. And at the beginning, like, she walks in, they're the nicest people, and then just immediately like a switch. Like, they're just like
they're those fake nice people that you meet that are always talking shit about you as soon as you leave the room.
You just don't do anything, Raven. Oh, your husband does all the hard work. Like, it's ridiculous.
Bear in mind that her husband is a porno photographer.
Right, that's how they met. That's how Raven met him. Is that like he convinced her to come do like a shoot for Scream Queen magazine.
So it's not like he's on a crab boat in Deadliest Catch or something.
And so I think Raven even points that out. She's like, we do the same job, and it's like, well, he's behind the camera, Like they're such assholes.
Yeah, they're both fucking terrible.
Raven then tries to call Eric, but he hangs up on her because he's busy doing a photo shoot with another girl, and then they start fucking.
Oh yeah, 'cause this movie, I mean, it does obey one of my favorite rules for these horror movies, which is you never go more than 10 minutes without seeing somebody naked.
So I think this is now our third set of boobs in the movie. Wayne then runs up to Raven as she gets home because it turns out that they are neighbors.
Oh yeah, just the kind of guy you want living next door.
And he gives the girl some stockings and for Christmas, and Raven invites him in for dinner because Raven, he seems like the nice guy who lives next door, and she tells him about the problems she's having with her mother-in-law and sister-in-law. And so Wayne's like, well, I'll babysit the girls for you so you can go to work. But then at the same time, like every time Raven brings up her job, Wayne's like really dismissive of it. And he's like, oh, don't you feel bad that all these guys are beating off while they're watching your videos? And it's like, Wayne, that's clearly what you're doing.
That's like, Wayne, that's how I make money. But yes, also, he's clearly looking at her like an insane person during all their conversations. I guess she just is too polite to say anything.
So then back at Scream Productions, we're getting that girl that Raven was talking to earlier, and she's doing her photo shoot. So this is now our fourth pair of boobs. She gets attacked by Wayne dressed as the Hooded Claw, and gets like murdered and like burnt with the hand rake,
yes,
the garden rake.
Just picture a man with a garden rake and a pair of pantyhose pulled over his head, and you basically have the Hooded Claw.
And then like the blood effect or whatever are just like tiny red dots that are like stuck to her face.
So bad.
Then the producer, the guy, or the producer of the company, the guy we met earlier, Bruce Brunswick or whatever, he's like inside doing something, and there's like a knock at the door. The guy's like, oh, I left my light meter. And Bruce is like, what? And he answers the door, and it's Wayne as the Hooded Claw. And they kind of tussle around for a bit. And at one point, like, Bruce is able to pull out like, a gun and shoots Wayne like 3 times.
This is one of the lamest low stakes movie fights I think I've ever seen. It's basically Wayne, who's like a small shrimpy guy he can't do like any. I mean, it's not like Jason Voorhees manhandling somebody. And then you've got this old man, basically they're basically doing like a slap fight almost at the beginning, and then he finally pulls out his gun.
It's every single fight in this movie is like a slap fight. But yeah, so Bruce pulls out a gun, like shoots Wayne like 3 times at relatively close range.
He would be dead.
He's completely unaffected by it, lunges at him and claws him to death with his Hooded Claw.
Apparently, the pantyhose over your head makes you more powerful.
Well, it turns out he's wearing. I think back at his house, we see him wearing like a bulletproof vest. But it's like doesn't matter. You're taking 3 shots at relatively close range.
Say, I don't know if at that range if it would stop them or not. Honestly,
we then get a great scene of like Wayne talking to Raven for a second, and she's like, "Oh, are you going to buy some presents?" He's like, "Oh no, I'm going to drop off some wrapped items I have," or something like that. Like some weird cryptic pun.
Yes. Cryptic comment of disposing of these bodies.
And then we get a song about like,
oh my god,
about like country music Christmas.
Yes.
As like Wayne drives out into the country.
And like bury some bodies at Christmas.
It goes and buries the bodies, and they're like wrapped in like tinsel and like a bow and like and wrapping paper, but they're clearly like mannequins that he's just able to pull along because he shouldn't be able to lift 2 bodies by himself.
They did not do a good job of making it look like he was struggling at all.
Raven calls Eric again, basically asks him to come home for Christmas. Which I think he agrees to do. The whole time though, while it's going on, that girl is like grinding on him.
Oh yeah.
Wayne yells at his altar again, says that he has Bruce's keys and notebook so he can get people, and like Santa, Wayne is going to decide this year who's naughty and who's nice.
Who's gonna get raked.
Wayne is now over at Raven's house babysitting the girls and gives them hot chocolate with sleeping pills inside of it to knock them out.
Classic maneuver.
Just like his Uncle Joe did to him.
Oh, you want to know something? I was reading other reviews of this before we started, and literally in 3 different reviews, they say "fat slob Uncle Joe."
We then get another photo shoot. So what? 5th pair of boobs in this movie.
Oh, at least. I think we see a few more in the background.
And while that's going on, it's intercut with scenes of like Wayne trying to find a Santa Claus suit to buy, including like him getting in a fight with like a bell ringing Santa for some reason.
Get the fuck out of here, buddy.
Go find your own fucking corner.
This is my Santa grift.
The lady who was doing the shoot earlier is now at her house. Remember, Wayne has like Bruce's address book so he can find where all these people live.
Apparently he went to the wrong house.
She's taking a bath, and then Santa shows up saying that he's here for the party, but it's the wrong house. But it turns out the Santa is actually Wayne.
But he's still actually at the wrong house because he's like, Raven.
I think he's hallucinating that it's Raven. I don't know.
And then apparently he snaps out of it and realizes it's not actually Raven.
Right. And then, so instead of, I don't know, letting her live because he thought it was Raven, he decides to murder her now that he knows that it's not.
Now you gotta die.
But also he doesn't want Raven to strip anymore. So why, or do these videos anymore?
Yeah.
So why kill the other women that are doing it?
Exactly. That
Because
makes no sense.
then Raven's gonna have to do the job more often. It's very confusing.
Well, the most important thing is that even though he's in a Santa suit now, he still doesn't take the pantyhose off his head. So
oh no, no. In this scene, I think he
does he remove it?
This scene, he's just a regular Santa.
Oh, okay.
We then get another scene of Wayne going back into the country and trudging another body out into the boonies to go bury with the other ones.
You know what that really reminded me of? Was the thing in Casino where Joe Pesci says you got to have your holes ready to bury the bodies because if somebody else comes along, then you're going to have to dig another hole. It's like, oh, I killed another person by accident that I didn't mean to. Now I got to go bury another body.
We then get a scene of Wayne spray painting his Santa suit black.
Yep.
And this will be our iconic look of Santa Claus at the end of the movie, which is very different than all the posters, which show like a skeletal Santa with like a claw hand.
Yeah, I saw some of those.
Like that's a way cooler image than what we actually get in this movie.
It's also very different than 2009 Santa Paws, which is about a dog Santa.
Is that part of the Air Bud franchise?
I wish.
Eric arrives home to find the girls drugged, and calls his mom and sister to kind of find out what's going on, if they know what's going on, and they say, oh well, we called over earlier and your neighbor Wayne was there and he said he was watching the girls instead.
We guessed Raven was out showing off her body again like a slut.
So and Raven is doing her photo shoot for Scream Queen Christmas.
Oh, and you get the sleazy cameraman doing this one. He's like, yeah, that's what I need.
At one point, Raven, I think after her photo shoot, she is putting her top back on, and she has these weird suspender straps, and the guy grabs one of them, and she's like, oh, it's the wrong way, and it's just one extra chance to touch her or something. Exactly. It's very creepy.
I need to touch this woman, and I found out later during research that I don't remember if it is the director or if it's the producer, but it's one of them, one of their cameos.
Okay, I know. The cop at the beginning, I believe is the director, so it's probably one of the producers.
Be the producer then.
Wayne arrives at the studio, dressed in all black, and murders just a random lady there.
Yeah, just proving that he has no rhyme or reason to what he's doing.
I think she's probably does costumes or something because she's kind of there moving outfits around and stuff like that. But yeah, he just goes and murders her, and it's very silly and very bad. Eric then shows up to confront Raven and yells at a guy, and then as Eric walks through the door, Wayne just shows up and attacks the guy that Eric was just yelling at for no reason. Wayne then reveals his Santa Claus outfit.
What a reveal it is.
And he does the thing because he calls himself Santa Claus.
Yes. Now I'm Santa Claus. I was waiting for him to stop and say, but not Claus like C-L-A-U-S, but C-L-A-W-S.
It would have been better. He then attacks Eric, and Raven grabs a box and is able to hit him off of him, and they both run away as Wayne like gets up, and then we get probably my favorite part of the whole dang movie, where Raven and Eric run up a flight of stairs, and then Wayne goes like trudging up the flight of stairs, this 80-yard
Comically slowly, by the way.
with these 80-yard like lines in the scene.
I'm gonna get you, guy.
And he goes up the stairs just to immediately be pushed back down the stairs by Eric, rolls all the way back down the stairs, sits
Gets
up,
up, starts again.
and then goes back up the stairs again.
It's like, why doesn't Eric just stand at the top of the stairs and just push him down again?
So like Eric and Raven go and hide in a room that Wade immediately finds them in.
This is part of the reason why most horror movies make their killer at least partially supernatural, so that something like a regular guy pushing him back down the stairs doesn't derail your movie.
And then so like Wayne gets into the room and they start kind of fighting again, and he's able to overpower Eric, and he takes his rake and he stabs Eric in the arm with the rake.
Oh boy.
And then he starts trying to strangle Eric. I think he strangled a couple other people, so he has precedent for that. And then while he's trying to strangle Eric, Raven like grabs the rake and just plants it in Wayne's throat.
Yep.
And like Wayne kind of like looks at her hurt as he's bleeding, and he's like, "I loved you, Raven," and then he dies.
Yes.
And then we get probably the most bonkers part of the whole movie. We get a bunch of like atmospheric Christmas scenes of Eric, Raven, and the girls celebrating Christmas.
Yeah.
At one point even saying like, "This is the best Christmas ever."
Yeah, the Christmas where we got drugged and our parents almost got murdered.
Like the whole time Eric's arm is still in a sling, so we know that like all these events happened. And yeah, it's the best Christmas ever. You know, the year that the children got drugged, multiple people got murdered, his wife got traumatized by their neighbor. Yeah, the best Christmas we've ever had as a family. We almost got divorced.
Yeah.
This is the best Christmas we've ever had.
It's a great Christmas.
I cheated on my wife. It's the best Christmas we ever had.
It was amazing.
And that's the end of the movie as another weird song plays over the closing credits. I think it's the second verse of Christmas by Myself.
Yes, it is.
But maybe it's like the final verse where like it's like, "Now I'm spending Christmas with you." Like you were spending Christmas by yourself. I don't know. It's very silly.
Now I'm not spending Christmas by myself anymore.
Oh, we also forgot to mention there's one other song that's like, "Scream Queen."
Oh yeah. You set my soul on fire, Scream Queen.
You're my one and only desire.
Scream Queen.
Something. Scream Queen, scare my pants off anytime.
Speaking of scaring my pants off, let's talk about the quick little bonus feature that's included with this movie.
Yes, if you get the DVD, you get the Scream Queen Christmas video that's also been recorded.
So basically, they literally just used the opportunity shooting this movie to also shoot a softcore, like Skinamax porno.
Where it's literally just extended, like, stripping scenes from the movie.
It's just extended striptease scenes of all the women, and a few women who weren't in the movie must have been cut or something.
Yep.
But yeah, don't worry. And Wayne also introduces each one.
Wearing his all black Santa suit with his hood on.
So yeah, if you get this remastered release, which, speaking of, the box looked amazing and the restoration quality was very good. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if you buy it, you'll also get a bonus softcore porno.
I'm really hoping that that Terror Vision does Elves. I've not that's another one that I really want to see. I've heard a lot about, and Terror Vision has done stuff with Elves in the past, so I hope that's their Blu-ray release. I have for this year. I have no idea, but I'd really like that.
It's really a shame that they couldn't remaster a good movie.
Well, with that, let's get into our minutia section. Where do you want to start this week, Jeff?
Oh, you know what? Let's just talk. Let's get the elephant in the room out of the way. Let's talk about the costumes in this black Santa suit.
Okay. Well, real fast before we get into our Santa Claus outfit, I do want to say that Eric's sister has a very like Kelly Bundy look. Yeah. There's a scene where she's wearing like a denim vest and denim jeans, and she has like platinum blonde hair and like ruby red lipstick, and I'm like, oh shit, it's Kelly Bundy. And that is the only costuming choice that stuck out to me other than this wild fucking Santa outfit. where Wayne is, I'm pretty sure, wearing just like black sweatpants
He said something, yeah.
that I think have also been spray painted. I think they were maybe gray and they're spray painted black.
They picked the cheapest Walmart sweatpants they could get their hands on.
And then like a Santa suit that like is unevenly like layered
it's
spray
not-
painted black,
It's not a good Santa suit. It's like one you would buy at the costume shop.
but it's completely spray painted black with like some parts that are really dark and some parts that are like almost gray on the outfit.
Well, there's parts where you had to shake the can.
And then the Santa hat has apparently been sprayed so much that it just sticks straight up in the air. Or I don't know, maybe Wayne was like shooting rope into it and it just stuck straight up afterwards.
I don't want to question what's making that hat stand up in this movie.
But then I think my favorite part is that he wears that dumb like
yeah.
baklava panty. Baklava.
He's wearing some baklava.
He's wearing like
Delicious.
the balaclava pantyhose thing, but his blonde
You
mullet
can
is still
totally-
sticking
yes,
out the
you
bottom
can
of the
totally see
outfit.
his hair still. You know exactly who it was.
It's
And
so silly.
let's not forget the weapon. I mean, if there's ever been a less believable horror weapon,
Oh, he's just running around with a fucking
it's a little rake.
garden, like
He
a
just
hand
has
rake.
a tiny fucking rake. That's it. It's like, you couldn't even kill somebody with this if you tried, probably. It's like, oh, I stuck you with these tiny 3 prongs of the rake. It's like, oh man, that's gonna be a nasty cut. I better make sure that doesn't get infected.
No, I mean the kill, the most believable kills are the gunshots at the beginning of the movie.
It's like the one thing I could see you maybe getting away with is the very end where Raven sticks it like directly in his throat.
Yep.
Maybe that could kill somebody. All the rest of these strikes, like I don't even get why Eric's arm is in a sling. He literally just got jabbed with a rake in the arm.
All right. What do you want to do next?
Well, I just want to take a minute to say, if you think that any of the sets or anything in this movie, it's like, oh, this is a real movie. It's not. This feels like a porno that they shot, basically. That's what the sets look like.
There's a couple scenes where I feel like they like shared a set with another movie.
Yeah, or something.
And oh, we're also going to film another Christmas horror movie or another Christmas movie at the same time, and we're just using the same sets over. When Eric buys when Wayne buys the Santa Claus outfit, I'm pretty sure the guy's not even an actor.
No.
Who sells it to him?
I
They
don't
like
think so.
you don't even get an image of his face. He's just like, yeah, the suit will fit you nicely.
Yep.
And like
If
that's
it.
it.
If it wasn't just 80 yard. Oh my god.
Yeah, like
This fucking movie. Let's talk a minute about that. The ADR in this movie is fucking insane.
I was gonna say let's save that for a broken bulb, brilliant bulb.
Okay. I don't think that would have saved it, but if you want to go for that.
Oh no, that's my my broken bulb
That's
is
your
the
broken
is
bulb.
the ADR. But yeah, no, the ADR in this movie is awful. It's really terrible. Like
And they use so much of it. It's like, what, did they just have no usable on-set mic or what?
like there's that is like one of my 2 broken bulbs is how wild the ADR is.
I mean, you have to see it to believe it. Honestly, I wouldn't recommend you watch this, but if you're morbidly curious, they ADR lines where the actor is literally facing the camera and you can see that it doesn't match up with their mouth movements at all. That's on the level we're talking.
I remember when I was in college, there was I was doing one of the video production classes I was in. I remember watching one of the movies, and this was a college kid filming his first movie, like, so cut the guy some slack. He's a college kid, not the guy who was co-creator of Night of the Living Dead.
Mm-hmm.
And so in his whole movie there was no sound, and he ADR'd all of the voices in afterwards, and like it was really silly and whatever. But like I said, he's a college kid. Like we're cutting the guy some slack, as opposed to whatever happened in this movie where like all of Wayne's dialogue is ADR'd in.
Yes, I mean, this was a co-production between it was John Russo and Bill Heinzman was the other guy. He was the sleazy cameraman.
Okay.
both of these guys have worked on multiple like Hollywood level productions. There is absolutely no excuse for this.
Yeah, that was my broken bulb. My brilliant bulb was the staying power of the movie. Was the like I kind of said at the beginning, this has been a movie that had been mentioned over and over and over again, and I hadn't been able to find. So I went into it thinking this movie's gonna rule. Like this movie's gonna be, this movie's gonna be awesome because I've heard all these people talk about it, and then we watched it, and it didn't.
Well, I think I know why this movie is popular with a certain segment of online movie critics.
Oh, I'm sure.
There's two big reasons that keep appearing in the movie over and over again.
What's your brilliant bulb?
Oh, well, do you want me to do my broken first or go to my
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
My broken bulb was producing this movie. I think when these guys pitched this to a production company, the production company should have been like, oh, so Santa, is it like some kind of monster? Well, no, it's a weirdo who was in sweatpants and a spray painted Santa coat with a garden rake. And then the production manager should have went, no, we're not going to be funding that. It's like, aren't you the guy who helped make Night of the Living Dead?
Why are you making this?
This is all you guys got? And this felt like a major cash grab is all I can think of, because the main thing is like, oh, it's got a super cool box art with like the skeleton Santa with the claw hand. And it's like, oh, I'm sure that was like on the VHS tape in the video store.
Oh, 100%.
And so it's like somebody grabs that like, oh, this will be cool. Skeleton Santa murdering people.
Right.
And then it's like, it's not that at all. It's just some weirdo running around with pantyhose over his head with a garden rake.
No, if I had rented this, I would have felt so let down afterwards. I mean, maybe if it was 96, I don't know, I would have been, 8. Like, I probably would have enjoyed all the boobs and stuff. Yeah. But, if...
Honestly, I think that must be what is fueling all the nostalgia for this movie. Is it's a bunch of guys who probably saw this when they were still young enough that's like, oh, I haven't seen this many boobs before.
Right. So what's your brilliant bulb?
My brilliant bulb was Raven Quinn. I think she did a great job, and she's the only thing that makes this movie even slightly bearable, because Wayne is terrible. Her husband Eric is terrible. I mean, the mother and the sister, Eric's family, they made me want to just claw my own eyes out.
No, if you want to make this movie and and all this stuff, have Wayne kill Eric and the mother and sister-in-law. Yes. Like, they're all bad people and they all kind of deserve to die. Right. Instead of all these girls who get murdered for no reason.
Literally no reason at all. But yeah, I'd say Debbie Rock On is my brilliant bulb.
Yeah, she did fantastic. And no, I'm excited to see.
She deserved a better movie than this.
I'm excited to see Vampire Christmas, the beginning. I don't know if excited's the word. I'm interested in seeing Vampire Christmas, the beginning.
I'm excited.
Coming out later this year.
I just want to say I would love to meet Debbie and discuss zoology with her.
Speaking of that, there's a scene where like oh, mommy, tell us about the guys at the horror convention, and like kind of like the plot of this movie or is the obsessive fandom, because like she talks about these guys came up and said they'd take a bullet for me and all this stuff, and so that's certainly the actual like story of the movie, is like the obsessive fandom. I think that's still very relevant today. In the world, so that's kind of interesting.
There are elements of a good movie in this, but they just do not come together at all.
Right. And so, she does a great job with that. And I'd like to meet her at a convention too, because, it get her to sign my copy of Santa Claus on Blu-ray.
Oh boy. She'd probably be like, oh, I made that, didn't I?
Do you want to do Christmas Carol's favorite quotes?
Oh, yeah, sure. We could do some quotes, although I don't really have much.
I only have a couple.
You can go ahead and go first.
All right. So early on when Bruce Brunswick is doing his interview with the newscaster, at one point he says, incidentally, the term Scream Queen was originally coined for Raven, which is not true at all.
It's just literally nothing.
But I just thought it was such a silly line. When Eric is filming the lady that he winds up cheating on Raven with, like at one point he goes, damn, you're heating me up now. Yeah. And then he takes off his like suit jacket. when Eric is like fantasizing, talking to his Helga Pataki shrine of Raven. He goes, "Sure, I'll babysit your kids while he lays you."
Yeah, I do. That one did. I had that one.
And then the last one I had is when Eric is like trying to find the Santa costume, and he goes up and talks to the bell ringing Santa, and the Santa's like, he's like, "Oh, go around the corner. You can buy it around the corner." He's like, find your own corner to stand on, or I'll black both your eyes.
Yeah.
You hear me?
See, I had that one too. Yes, those two stuck out to me, and for whatever reason, I don't know why I thought it was so funny, but when he goes in and buys the Santa suit, and the guy like just looks at him holding the package, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it'll fit you fine."
Yeah. It'll fit you great.
It's like, what the fuck is it? At that point, I'm like, is this a real movie? Are we being trolled?
Immediately after that, we then get the scene where like Wayne goes to follow the girl that he kills at her house when he like jumps her dressed in the Santa outfit, and he's like in his like she's getting into a van, and then we cut to like Wayne sitting in a van eating an apple that he rolls down the window to toss the core out. And then rolls his window back up. And I don't know why that scene's in there.
Oh, my last quote was when fat slob Uncle Joe says, "We all loved your father," as he's in bed getting ready to bang the mother.
Right. Oh, man, Uncle Joe.
Oh, man. I could have done with more Uncle Joe in this movie, which is apparently by internet consensus a fat slob. Even though we never see him eating.
Oh man, oh man, Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe might be the star of the movie.
I mean, he is my star of the movie for sure.
So let's get into Christmas spirit. How Christmassy is the movie? How Christmassy are the kills?
I just want to make one real quick note here before we wrap up the synopsis and sections there. If Eric had just called the police when he came home and found his kids had been drugged by Wayne, we could have avoided a lot of raking.
Right? No, absolutely.
I just wanted to throw that out there before we get started.
There's kind of a killer Santa.
I mean, barely, but
for
I guess.
for maybe about 10 minutes of the movie, there's a killer Santa.
It's literally like they were just making this movie about an obsessive fan murdering people, and then they literally had the idea while they were making it, hey, we could market this as a Christmas horror movie if we get a Santa suit in here.
Oh, think about all the great Christmas horror movies, the Silent Night, Deadly Night franchise, Black Christmas, Christmas Evil. Mm-hmm. Oh, this will be great. This will go right with them. And then it's there's barely any Christmas killing in it.
I mean, it's basically, it should have been called The Hooded Claw. That's what the movie should have been called.
There is I will say, I mean, they do a fairly good job of like putting the fact that it's Christmas coming up. Mm-hmm. There's snow on the ground in some scenes.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not completely devoid of Christmas, but you can definitely tell that Christmas was kind of like an afterthought.
I kind of what I put down was, I was like, more Christmassy than Mother Krampus, because we thought Mother Krampus was fairly Christmassy. Mm-hmm. I'd say it was a little more Christmassy than Mother Krampus, but like not as Christmassy as like Letters to Satan Claus, I'm Dreaming of a White Doomsday. Like those movies felt so much more Christmassy than this one.
The fact that it's Christmas really doesn't motivate the movie at all. It's kind of just like a backdrop setting, which I mean, because like one of the best ones we've seen so far, the killing was taking place on the 12 days of Christmas. Well, not really, because people don't realize it's 12 days after Christmas. But still, it was a Christmas-themed murder spree.
Right.
It's like, I think this could have benefited from something like that, where he was killing them at this time of year for a reason, and not just because he's an obsessed fan. But apparently, they were just like, well, Christmas horror is a hot concept, and we got this thing we could push out, and we have a good excuse to make some women dress up in some sexy Santa outfits for our B-roll.
I think it's kind of the thing you and I have said before. It's easy to make a Christmas horror movie because Santa outfits are so easy to come
cheap,
by.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just Christmas decorations in general. It's like, I'm sure that went into it. It's like, oh, we could throw together a Christmas set for, $10. Probably.
Right. And so, it works. And I mean, it's not the least Christmassy, but it's not the most Christmassy. But
and it definitely doesn't feel like Christmas is important to it. If you took the Christmas aspect out, I don't think it would make any difference.
I kind of felt that it was, for whatever reason, like the term, like, in my mind, I was like, it felt very like 90s Christmas. And I don't know what that means. Like, you know, I was alive for the whole 90s, but I don't remember all of it. But like, I don't know, it felt like Christmas in the 90s watching the movie. And, you know, it came out in 96. So
The only thing that felt Christmassy to me about it really was the fact that it was bringing the family together or whatever at Christmas time. It's a common Christmas theme. But other than that, it's like a crazed fan stalking and killing an actress he's obsessed with. I mean, that could be said at any time.
right. But I guess, yeah, I really know it's not Christmassy. Like the inciting incidents are Christmassy. You know, yeah, but otherwise, yeah, just kind of so happen, like, you know, or him getting arrested at the beginning takes place on Christmas.
It's like, yes, Uncle Joe happened to be over banging his mom on Christmas.
I think we forgot to mention that Uncle Joe was dressed as Santa, and like,
well, he had his Santa hat on. He wasn't wearing much else.
right? We see what's left of his Santa outfit on the floor of on the stairs or whatever as Wayne goes up them. But I think at one point he's like, "Come on, baby, won't you let Santa come early?" or something like that.
Let Santa open his presents early. Oh, Uncle Joe, you fat slob.
Oh man. All right, so every episode we like to rate our movies on one of three categories. Is it seasonally scary? Is it ho 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 hilarious? Or is it you'll be sorry? Jeff, why don't you take it?
You'll be sorry. I mean, there's not enough redeeming in this movie to make it worth watching. And I mean, this might have been cool in the 90s when you could trick your parents into getting you this from the video store so you could watch all the boobs. But I mean, now that we have the internet, it's kind of lost its purpose. I mean, I'm sure you would be psyched, like if you were scrolling through late night TV channels and you happened to run across this as a kid.
Oh, I could see that.
It's like maybe something like that. And I think that's where a lot of this nostalgia for this movie must come from.
I could see watching this on like scrambled Skinamax, coming through kind of like with some of the bars across the screen.
I think I can almost see boobs.
Right. I gave it ho 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 hilarious. It's a really silly movie. The whole concept's silly. The dialogue is dumb and bad and silly, and like, yeah, there's a lot of like unnecessary like nudity scenes that like take up large chunks of time that really do get kind of boring in the movie. But you know, the ridiculousness of the whole plot, like some of just like the weird things that they say, the weird things that happen, how bad the effects look, how bad the ADR is, just how, you know, it's a real schlocky movie, but something about that is kind of charming, and it just, for whatever reason, like I just kind of sat there and I was like, yeah, it's probably more You'll Be Sorry. But I'm like, but there was just part of me that was just like kind of charmed by how terrible the whole thing was.
I'm sure, you know, it's kind of like that personal choice. It's like, do you find something so bad that it's good, or do you just find it boring?
Right. And it's very close. Like certainly, strangely, the nudity is very boring.
Yes. Oh my God. It's like, yes, I mean, I enjoy some good nudity in these movies, but I mean, come on. We do not need just random striptease scenes
over
every
and
10
over
minutes.
and over. Right.
And it's not like, you know, oh, it's boobs and then you cut away. No, you hold on these women for like 2-3 minutes.
It's like the opening of Thanksgiving, where I want to say like the first minute of the movie is just a shot of that woman's breasts as it slowly pans out.
It's like, I mean, we could take something too much of a good thing.
But yeah, I don't know, just something about it. Like I kind of, like I said, I was kind of charmed by it, and it was just something about it where I kind of went, I can kind of see where people were coming from.
This is not a hard "You'll Be Sorry" like a Barricade.
Right.
This is more of a soft "You'll Be Sorry."
Exactly. It's somewhere in between, but we only do one of three categories.
We have to choose. So.
And so yeah, like it's kind of, for me, you know, when you gave Black Friday a ho 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 hilarious, and I gave it a You'll Be Sorry, I think it's kind of the reverse of that, where like, yes, you could like I was like, it's almost ho 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 hilarious, but it's not. And I think that I think for you, that's what this one is.
Pretty much, yeah. It's just, it wasn't quite there for me. I didn't find it entertaining enough to move it over that hump.
But yeah, I like, it's close, and I was just like, you know, it's not as bad as Barricade. It's not as bad as Mother Krampus. It's not as bad as Nutcracker Massacre.
Yeah. Much like fat slob Uncle Joe, it just did not get over the hump.
Oh, poor Uncle Joe. So let's take Wayne, Santa Claus, CLAWS, and put him somewhere on the naughty list.
Oh my god, he's got to be at the bottom. I think Brooklyn Santa would kick this guy's ass.
I have that. I was like, I'm pretty sure he is just one step below the Killer Santas from To All a Good Night.
Brooklyn Santa would ask Wayne a question, definitely with his axe.
Oh man, like that was the thing too. Is like I watched this and I went, I want to watch To All a Good Night again. Yeah. Like it's been a while. I'm like, man, I'm really missing To All a Good Night. I like that movie so much more.
But I mean, when you're at the point where you get into a long drawn out fight with an old man, which you can't overpower, by the way, he ultimately gets the better of you and shoots you 3 times and runs away. You get to the point where you're a guy walking upstairs very slowly, mind you, it's a big chore to get up this tiny flight of stairs, and then he gets pushed back down, just completely falls on his ass, and then climbs the stairs slowly for a second time.
Oh no, it's
if your villain can be defeated by a flight of stairs, he's not going to be high on the naughty list.
I think on the back of the DVD, I meant to bring this up earlier, but this is a perfect time for it, actually. I'm pretty sure on the back of the DVD it says something like, it turns Wayne into a relentless serial killer, or something like that. And relentless serial killer Wayne is not.
Like I said, this guy was on a top 10 Killer Santa list that I saw. And it's like, one, he's not even a Killer Santa. He just spray paints a Santa outfit randomly at the end of the movie. And 2, he is not anywhere near a top 10 Killer Santa. I mean, I think somebody would have 4 birds for this man.
Right.
He'd kick his ass, he would.
Oh man, that's a good movie. I truly, I still do think about Once Upon a Christmas about once a week.
Literally, I'll be just like driving in my car on my commute to work or whatever, and I'll just be like, 4 birds, just enough for one night.
Oh man, well, what was it? That apple we found at the crime scene. Apple? I thought it was a pear. A what?
Now, see, that is an example of a movie that's hilarious.
Truth. But I guess we've kind of wrapped up this episode, so there's one last thing to do, and that's shove some more garbage in our faces in a segment we like to call
Garbage Day! Huh? No!
All right, so as I said, we're going to shove some more garbage in our faces. On the last episode, Jeff, I don't know if you remember, you asked if we had any more beers to try.
Oh, no.
And we do. I said that we do, and strangely, they are right on theme, because for this week's episode, I've got, drum roll please, Here Comes Santa Claus.
Oh, no.
Spelled CLAWS. It's a double dry hop IPA. So I think we're both going to hate it.
I have no idea what that means.
And the question is, Jeff, are we going to hate this more, or are we going to hate the movie Santa Claus more?
The movie, definitely more. This will be over. It's one can. You know what? As bad as this will probably taste, I will be able to forget that when I eat the next thing. I will never be able to forget this movie.
No, I saw this at the local grocer. Here Comes Santa Claus, CLAWS. It's got like a killer cat in a Santa Claus outfit on the label, and then like a dog by a Christmas tree who looks like he's pissing his pants. And as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to pick it up, and we had to drink it on the podcast. So I'm gonna pour myself some, and then I'll give some to Jeff. And he does not know what he's in for, since he doesn't know what a double dry hopped IPA is. So hold on.
Oh no! Oh, it even looks terrible.
All right, buddy. Give that a whiff.
Oh God. Oh,
it smells like freshly cut grass.
Oh yeah, lawn clippings, appetizing.
All right.
Are you ready?
Oh, I can drink this. I'm probably not gonna like it, but I'm excited to see what happens.
Oh, Oh, that is foul, sir. Not good.
I want to say this is like close to $20 to buy this 4-pack.
The 4-pack was $20.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'll probably give the remaining 3 of these to my brother, who's actually an IPA drinker.
Well, good for him, I guess, if he can appreciate it. Oh my god. All right, I'm gonna go in for. I was a little traumatized on that first one. I'll go in for a second sip. Maybe I can get a better judge of this.
He really does not like it.
No, it's not going down any better the second time. I mean, honestly, it's not the worst beer I've ever had. I'll say that.
I've never been a big IPA fan. I enjoy a good pale ale, but something about the IPAs I'm not as big a fan of.
Yeah,
But
I'm not. I mean, the bachelor party Busch Light, I think I liked a little bit better than this.
yeah, for Jeff's bachelor party, his brother kept buying pitchers of Busch Light for us to drink at a bowling alley, and that got out of hand very quickly.
Oh yeah.
Especially when I just wound up continuously bowling frames because no one else wanted to stand up and bowl.
Hey, I was impaired, sir.
Oh, that was fun. But yeah, I don't know. It's not the worst.
I will say it's not the worst beer I've ever had.
Honestly, the thing I would like to do is find the person who did the artwork and see if they did a poster. Because I'd like to get that poster. I think it'd be kind of a cool poster to have.
That is cool.
Just because it's kind of a neat image.
It is a cool can.
But yeah.
Also
let's
from
see.
Brooklyn, New York. I was just there last week.
Brooklyn Santa Claus himself. Double dry hopped IPA, Citra and Citrata hops, barley and wheat, 7.2% alcohol by volume, 1 pint, store cold and drink fresh. I don't know how fresh it is, but it has been stored cold for a while.
Oh no.
Oh, does it say who the...
Earl Holloway is the artist.
Kings County Brewers Collective.
And original art by Earl Holloway.
All right, I'll have to look that up. Maybe get that poster for our for our recording area.
Yeah, maybe we can contact him when we launch one of our new shows this summer and get him to do a thumbnail for us.
Oh man, but yeah, I don't know. It's not terrible. If you can find it, check it out. I mean, I think we both liked the what was it called? The peanut butter cup or whatever.
Oh, that was better than this.
Yeah, the peanut butter cup stout. That was pretty tasty. This is fine. It's an IPA. If you're an IPA drinker, I'm sure you'd like it a lot. If you're not an IPA drinker, I'm sure you won't like it at all. It's about the size of IPAs, really, for most people. So
You like it or you don't. There you go.
So yeah, let's kind of wrap up our episode here. If you want to send us an email for our Garbage Day segment, stop me from giving Jeff.
I got to call out another show real quick.
Okay.
I am a subscriber to the Pessimist Productions Patreon. They got a movie show called Fighting Boys where they talk about movie news and stuff like that. On their last episode, they did a segment and they used the Garbage Day intro.
Oh man.
Uh-huh.
Now, well, we're starting a beef with people who probably have more listeners to their podcast than listen to ours.
4,300 patrons. Who cares?
We're coming for you,
You
with
stole our shit.
We're coming for you with our 13 listeners on our last episode on YouTube.
We've been doing this for months, and you just I mean, honestly, their Fighting Boys channel is not as big as their other stuff. I mean, it's still bigger than us. But we'll fight you.
But send us an email at horrorfortheholidays@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on the socials, we are on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at horror4holidays. We are also at horror4holidays on the Q app, which is kind of a movie review app, where we
spin the wheel and we take the deal.
Yeah, where we plugged all of our whole movie list in, and we let it decide what movie we're gonna watch. That way we don't have to argue back and forth about whether we should watch Rare Exports or Mother Krampus 2.
Yeah.
We just let the wheel decide for us. I said to Jeff the other day, I'm like, it's really interesting that there's 6 Silent Night, Deadly Night movies on that list.
Never hit
and
one
we've
of them.
never hit one of them on our spins, which is very funny. I mean, there's like 100. There's like 180 on the list roughly.
Something like that.
So I mean, it's a long ways coming, but I just thought it was kind of funny.
But yeah, subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/horror for the holidays. You get audio backups of the episodes, and there's an easier to use comment section if you want to call us fat slobs like Uncle Joe.
Yeah. Give us 5 stars, 5-star rating. Subscribe on your podcatcher of choice. Right. These guys are the fat slob Uncle Joe of podcasting. 5 stars.
Send us random money just because,
And then also follow us on Indiegogo. I think we're just horror for the holidays. Normally I'm busy finding Christmas horror movies that are funding on Indiegogo. Currently there's one that's about to wrap up called like Merciless Christmas. I don't know anything about it. I threw $30 at it in hopes that it gets made and maybe we'll get a DVD out of the deal. So
nice. We also need to contact that Jack Frost director so we can get Jack Frost 3 made.
Oh, man, how do we get... I'm pretty sure all the people are dead, but if we could ever figure that out, we need to get Jack Frost 3 made.
Well, better call a necromancer.
But, yeah, otherwise, we'll see you again in 2 weeks for another movie.
Another one of these, and I hope it's better next time.
I hope...
We've been slogging through a real lake of shit on these last few.
I hope the movie's better, and I hope the episode's better for you guys, too.
I hope the beer is better.
Well, we'll see. So we'll see you again in 2 weeks. Thanks for listening.
Goodbye.
Bye.